If you don't know what God has called you, believe me, even if you are told your purpose, you won't believe it. Even if you are given your purpose, you won't manifest it. Because it takes who you are to be able to function in your purpose. For you to become an unstoppable generation, you must understand your essence. If you don't know who you are, you will never summon the courage and conviction to live for your purpose. Many persons are struggling to receive acceptance. Many persons are struggling to be given an identity. Many persons are struggling to have relevance. And all of this unnecessary struggle is because they've not discovered who they are. So a generation that will understand purpose, live for purpose, and die for it if need be, is a generation that has a thorough understanding of essence. They know who they are. Nobody will give you an identity that God has not given you. Nobody will try to give you value that is not consistent with who you are. Many compromise in an attempt to receive acceptance. Many compromise in an attempt to have a false identity that is not consistent with their ordination. And so for us to become unstoppable, we must go back to the cradle of reality and find out who we really are. Who are you? Imagine if you told a goat today that you can become a professor. How is that possible? If you like, take that goat to Harvard. Let the goat be in Harvard. Attend every class for 20 years. It can never be a professor because nature and essence does not support it. You don't talk purpose until you have found essence. You don't talk purpose until you have understood nature. You don't talk purpose until you have solved the problem of identity. And I can tell you, one of the biggest crises of believers is that they don't know who they are. Some of us, our dressing is a fight to be appreciated. It's a fight to be accepted. That's why you come to our society today, ladies feel until they are naked, they are not beautiful. It's identity crisis. They don't know who they are. They don't know the value that God has placed upon them. And so that nakedness in their mind and subconscious mind, they think it will make people appreciate them. They think it will make people accept them. Meanwhile, they have condescended by exposing themselves. But they will never know it until they know who they are. When you know who you are, you will know that certain parts of your body are too precious to be exposed. You will understand that certain parts of your body are not to be buffeted in the public. In fact, only one person will have the privilege of looking upon certain parts of your body. And for that person to do that, he must walk through the eye and go through the covenant of marriage vetted by God to have that honor. But today, something that should be honorable is in the public. And some are even naked. Nobody is looking because it has become too common. Is it those naked women that can fulfill divine agenda? People who don't know who they are, they don't have value for themselves. Are those the people that can give value to society? You must have value for yourself before you even have one for society. Is it somebody who is walking naked to be appreciated and accepted that can change society? She doesn't even know how precious she is to begin with. This is the crisis of humanity. We must understand who we are before we talk purpose. We must understand what God calls us before we talk purpose. We must understand the premium that is put upon us before we talk purpose. You can't be, you check, you go check. Even in the mundane realm, how many presidents do you see look like most of our youths today? Because that responsibility calls for certain level of maturity, decency, and courtesy. This is mundane responsibility. Of course, God can work his purpose through it. But it has certain level of dignity. How many presidents do you see live the way our everyday believers live? No, they don't function like that. They have found out that this office commands dignity. They have found out that to work in this office, there is a code of nobility that must be sustained. And so you don't talk about the responsibility first. You first talk about the essence. Do you know who you are? Do you know what God has called you? before you talk about handling divine purpose. Many don't understand it. And if we don't get down to studying and understanding who we are, we will just end up making ourselves feel excited and coming back to the same location after 1 year. Then when you have found your essence, then you find your assignment, because your purpose is tied to your assignment. This is why a lazy generation can never find purpose. An unwilling generation to serve can never find purpose. For you to walk in purpose, you must find your assignment. God gave Adam a purpose by giving him an assignment. He said, dress the garden and keep it. In dressing and keeping the garden, he will advance God's invincible kingdom into the visible realm. So a generation that does not have an assignment, a place of service, can never find purpose. And there are things that operate based on essence. There are other things that operate based on assignment. If you understand these two contexts, you will be shocked how impactful your life will become. That's when you will remember and realize that age is not a factor. Whether you are young or old does not matter. That's when you will realize that color scheme is not a factor. Whether you are white or black does not matter. That's when you will realize that gender is not a factor. Whether you are male or female does not matter. Find out who you are. Find out your assignment. And when you have found it, live in it and be willing to die for it if need be. And see if your generation does not celebrate you. Believe me, whether they like you or not is no longer a factor. I passed through a season of my life where people, some wanted me to vanish. Some wanted the air to open for me to be swallowed up. I'm still here, sir. I have discovered who I am. I have discovered what God gave me to do. Whether you like me or not does not matter. So long as you are in your assignment, you have a place in ordination. And you will see the way nations will open up to you. Nations will celebrate you. Sometimes you will look at yourself and want to be sure if what's happening is real. Considering where you came from and where God is taking you, there will be no you can't rationalize it. The difference will be like night and day. It will look impossible, but it will be a reality. I prophesy over someone. When this conference is over, you will enter a dimension that will make you indispensable to your generation. So very quickly, let's look at matters of essence. As touching an unstoppable generation, there are 4 basic, essential attributes that God gave us. If you understand this, believe me, there is a level of audacity that will enter your life. You will be shocked. And I'm going to deal with all of them in context in the next 30 minutes. Then we'll spend some time to pray. Number 1 is you as a wind. When God looks at you as a generation that will advance an assignment that earth, circumstances, and devils cannot stop, the nomenclature he gave you is as a wind. And when you study the character of the wind, you will know why God calls the believer the wind. Number 2, the Bible calls you a light. Number 3, the Bible calls you a flame of fire. And number 4, the Bible describes you as a rock. I'm showing you what God has in mind that necessitated his commitment to you to the point that he was willing to die to ransom you. There is something about you and God's purpose that is so important to God that when you fell, God didn't let you go. He had to leave his throne, become a man, die to justify you so that you can fulfill that agenda. But you will never fulfill that agenda until you subscribe to the definition that God gave you. If it's society that is defining you, you will have the result of society. And most of you don't know. See, there's a level that this society don't expect you to cross. Because the way the system is designed, they know nobody should be a millionaire. You go check the civil service king, professors. This is like one of the most noble work of society. And for you to be a professor, you have not just graduated from school and had a BSc, an MSc, and a PhD. You must have lectured and grown through the rank. From graduate assistant to assistant lecturer to a lecturer 2, lecturer 1, senior lecturer, before you become a reader, then an associate prof, then a prof. Guess what the salary is? In some places, it's 400,000 naira. At this level, you have spent at least 30 years in the university. That's what society thinks you are what? Is that the society where you think you can have financial liberty? No wonder if any good thing happens to you, the security forces probe you. How did you get here? The way this society is designed, you are not supposed to be like this. How did you break through the ranks? How did you defy the limitation? Because society has placed a value. That's why you can't allow society define you. So even if you are a professor, make sure there is something eternal that you are using your professorial title as a platform to fulfill. It shouldn't just be what society calls you, even if it is good. This is a bastardized society. You want to be unstoppable? You need something that is divine. And it begins with you understanding who God calls you and living accordingly. And in the scriptures, we are called, amongst other things, wind. We are called light. We are called fire. We are called rock. There are many more things we are called. But I don't have time. I just want to zoom into these 4 because of the emphasis I want to advance. Otherwise, we are called priests. That means we are gatekeepers between heaven and earth. We are called kings. That means we have scepter of authority. We are called ambassadors. That means we are representative of another kingdom in this realm. We are called many things in scriptures. But I just want to zoom into these 4 because there are unique characters they sustain that will bring an awareness to us. If you know these characters and understand why God calls us these things, your life can be the same. And so very quickly, let's take them one after the other. We are talking unstoppable generation. And I beg you, open your heart. If you don't rise, you will hate yourself even before you grow old. Write what I have told you down. If you don't rise, you will hate yourself before you grow old. You don't need to even come to the end of your life to realize it. At some point as a young man, you will look up and down and say, this world is not fair. You will say society is wicked. And some of you will ask, God, where are you? But it will not be your portion. I say it will not be your portion. In the name of Jesus Christ. So very quickly, John chapter 1. Let's begin from there. The Bible said from verse 1, in the beginning was the Word. It said the Word was with God and the Word was God. It said the same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. And it said in him was life, and it said the life was the light of men. And it said the light shineth in the darkness. Are you seeing that light brings down every form of opposition? This is why you have to be light to be unstoppable. It said the light shineth in the darkness, and it said the darkness comprehended it not. But if it stopped here, it would have been only about Jesus. But thank God he didn't just come to be the light. He went further to verse 9 and he said that light is the true light that lighted every man that cometh into the world. So he didn't just come as light. He came as light to lighten you so that you can become light. So if you study John 8:12, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. It says, him that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. So there is a level where you draw off his light and you manifest it. But he didn't stop there. He now did something to you. He made you to assume his nature, so that as he is light, you will become light. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 5, the Bible said, you are the children of light. And it said, you are of the day and not of the darkness. So he came to lighten you. He came to give you light so you don't walk in darkness. Then he came to a point where he made you too to become light. Because he bettered you. He imparted his nature to you. So you become as much light as he was light. The same way he was light and darkness could not comprehend him. It says you too became so much of light that darkness can no longer comprehend you. So Matthew 5:14, the Bible said, you are the light of the world. A city set upon the hill that cannot be hid. John 8:12, he was the light of the world. Matthew 5:14, you are the light of the world. For you to become an unstoppable generation, you must see yourself as the solution for every darkness. You must see yourself as the light of your world. You know why most of us have not risen? We are waiting for a light to shine to deliver us. We are waiting for a deliverer to show up to bring us out of darkness. We are waiting for an answer to show up to become the answer to our questions. But what God did was that he boycotted the question. He boycotted the darkness. He made you the light. He made you the answer. So that the answer you are looking for, you become the answer. But if you don't come to a place of consciousness to understand that you are light, you will grow up in darkness and you will join those who are in darkness and you'll be begging for answers. And so for a generation to be unstoppable, we must understand our essence as light. Your essence is of light. You must know it so that you learn to illuminate. You know, when a child is born, a child has the same DNA as his father. In fact, the first time a child is born, the face may not resemble anybody. After 2 weeks, the face will change. After 1 month, the face will change. After 2 months, the face will change. Sometimes it's at 4 months. You now begin to see the father's face. You begin to see the mother's face. You now realize that, oh, there's DNA walking here. And then the child may not even be able to sit because the spinal column has not yet matured. So the child will lie down. After a while, the spinal column will become strong and the child will start sitting. Then after a while, the knees and the ankles become strong. The child starts crawling. After a while, the ankles, all of the leg bones, the waist becomes strong. The child starts standing and falling. After a while, the child starts walking. Then the point comes. The child now begins to run faster than the father. And then you are looking, what is this? It's metamorphosis. Once upon a time, the child that could not sit is now suddenly running faster than the father because the DNA was there. And do you know what? Unconsciously, yet instinctively, every child knows they have the DNA of their father. That's why a child does not need to go to a school. Everything the child see you doing, the child will do it. Why do you think children walk? It's because they see us walk. If you put a child in a room and it doesn't see any human, that child may never walk. The reason they stand to walk is because they see you. Why do you think children talk? They talk because they hear you talk. So after a while, the most common words you use, you now discover children will start using those words. They start using those words because they understand that they are like you. And until they become like you or greater, they won't stop. It is DNA educating them instinctively. It may not be cognitive, but it is too real to deny. This is what God has done with us. He has made us light. We are exactly like God. If we don't see him and live like him, we will never be unstoppable. And so for a light generation, there are three responsibilities. Number one, arise. Number two, awake. Number three, let. These are the three key responsibilities that a light generation must undertake in order to manifest light. In Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1, it says, arise, shine, your light is come. The glory of the Lord is risen upon you. That your light has come does not mean you will shine. The reason you will shine is because you arise. The reason you will shine is because you have taken responsibility to become the light that you see. And so any unstoppable generation whom God calls light must first of all realize that indeed they are light. See, when I read my Bible, one of the things that surprises me is the insistence of the apostles in following these principles. Imagine the church of Corinth. Sir, they were having incest. The church of Corinth, all forms of iniquity was there. Guess what? When Paul was writing to them, he called them saints. I'm like, saints? Don't you know these people? These are people living in iniquity. Why will you call them saints? If you don't recognize them as saints, they can never live as saints. So that they are doing something wrong does not mean their nature is different. For us to recover them, we must first of all awaken them to an understanding of their nature. That's why it was that church Paul told in 1 Corinthians 6:17. He said, whoever is joined to the Lord is one spirit. So you are exactly like the Holy Ghost. This is why we expect you to live holy. If you don't have the nature of Christ, it will be a waste of time to expect you to live holy. Imagine if I carried a baboon and I start teaching it English. I will waste all my life. When that baboon is 15, a child that is 1 year old will be more intelligent. Because nature does not support it. And so first, you must accept that, listen, our world is full of darkness, but I am light. I am not part of the darkness. I am light. What is darkness? Ignorance. What is darkness? Wickedness. What is darkness? Sin and iniquity. What is darkness? Failure. Recognize it. Don't deny it. But understand that you are light. The world may be ignorant of truth, but I am light. Truth is in me. The world may be full of wickedness, but I am light. Love is in me. The world may be full of sin, but I am light. Righteousness is in me. You check your life. You are not yet living it, but acknowledge it first. That's where you start from. When you have now acknowledged it, then you now begin to think of how to manifest it. And for light, the first thing to do is to arise. And the word arise speaks of responsibility. And so any believer who does not take responsibility will not shine. If you want to counter ignorance, then search for knowledge. You must take the responsibility. Shining is not a gift. Shining is a responsibility. And until you shine, you won't be unstoppable. You read your Bible, it said Gentiles come to your light. It said kings come to the brightness of your rising. That means you have the potential to become the force of your generation. But have you taken responsibility? Many have never taken responsibilities. You think you'll be an answer, but you don't pursue solutions. You think you'll be a way, and you don't learn how to chat one. You think you will lift men up, you don't learn how to stand. Is that not a joke? You must take responsibility.